Good morning, boys and girls. So glad you're here with me this Sunday morning. I'm going to start with our memory verse, and it comes from Lamentations chapter 3, verse 24, and it says, I say to myself, the Lord is everything I will ever need, so I will put my hope in him. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 24. From our Bible story today, we're going to learn that God's people suffered because of their sin, but God still loved them. And his love for you will never, ever end either. No matter what we do, God will always love us. So I'm going to read from our story Bible, chapter 17, The Kingdom's Fall. I know the plans I have for you, announces the Lord. I want you to enjoy success. I do not plan to harm you. I will give you hope for the years to come. Jeremiah 29:11. God had tried everything to get his people to listen, to be sorry for the things they had done, and to return to loving him. But everything had failed. God could not continue to bless his people while they disobeyed him. The covenant was broken and could not be repaired. God had to punish his people. Then he would rebuild and restore his people. Then he would give them hope and a future. Prophet of tears and prophet of hope. Sparks flew from the burning temple. Citizens ran screaming through the streets. Children wailed for their parents. Soldiers dragged the king and his officers to the outskirts of Jerusalem. The great city was suffering. The Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar and his army had swept through the town like an angry whirlwind. The Babylonian soldiers did their job, destroying everything in their path, capturing the people, eating their food, scaring the children and elderly. When the chaos settled down, Jerusalem was ruined, emptied, scorched, the city walls broken down. Smoke rose from the smoldering houses, and on a nearby hill stood old Jeremiah the prophet, shedding his tears for the city he loved, crying for the Israelites he tried to save. Why wouldn't they listen, he thought. Jeremiah cried, remembering how hard he tried to warn the people. Turn back to God, he had told them over and over, but they ignored him and chose to disobey God. And now the people were being carried off to Babylon to become slaves to the king. King Nebuchadnezzar had spared Jeremiah. The old prophet had one last message for the people. Despite his tears, Jeremiah felt a new hope for the future, and he wanted his friends in Jerusalem to believe his words. Don't give up hope, the prophet urged. The Lord is good to those whose hope is in him. If you truly seek him and wait patiently, God will save you. The sad and suffering people of Jerusalem needed Jeremiah's words. His tears showed them he truly cared, and his words gave them courage in the years ahead to wait patiently for God to rescue them and return them to their homeland. God says, my love for you cannot be measured. It has no beginning and it never ends. I will be faithful to you and love you from one generation to the next and far beyond. Reach out to me, for I am right beside you. Believe in me and have hope. God promised his people that there will always be hope, that he will always love them no matter what. I want you to think about what happens when sometimes you make the wrong choice. What happens? Yeah, we might get in trouble. There are consequences, aren't they, when we make wrong choices? There might be punishment, right? And what is the purpose of punishment? Why do you think that we get in trouble? So that we can learn from our mistakes and make the right choice the next time, the good choice the next time. That's what God is like. He loves us so much. We may sin and we may make wrong choices, but God always loves us and he always gives us a reason to hope. He forgives us because he loves us so much. God loved his people even when we mess up. We have to face the consequences of our actions just like the Israelites did. But that doesn't mean that God ever stops loving us. God still loves his people and he still loves us too. So boys and girls, remember, even when you make those bad choices, Even when you sin, God still loves you. He's not going to give up on you just because you sin or make a bad choice. He wants you to learn from your mistakes and move on and make good choices. Have a great week, boys and girls.